Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Music Forward's Open Mic Fridays. First of all, happy Friday to you. We are so excited that you have chosen to spend your Friday evening with us, or at least an hour of it. You could be anywhere in the world, and you have decided to be here with us. So we thank you. Before we even get started with this amazing night, I want you to take a second and send this link to somebody else. I'm pretty sure one of these amazing artists sent you the link, said, come watch me. Now let's pay it forward, send it to somebody else, and let's get this room nice and full for this amazing talent that we are going to have this evening. So I am super excited. My name is Lydia Caesar, and I love hosting Open Mic Fridays. It's always so much talent, so many great moments. No matter who you are or why you're here, you're going to experience and learn something phenomenal today, because that's just how Music Forward Open Mic Fridays is. You're going to leave feeling inspired. This is our second show of 2023. Listen, I know it's a little bit cheesy, but I had to do it. I thought these were just so cute. Our second show, super excited to be here for this. And we're bringing you the freshest talent from around the globe. Thank you for joining us here on Twitch. That is the format, the platform that you're watching right now. If you are on Twitch, please subscribe to Music Forward right here on the platform so that you never miss out. We do so many other amazing things right here on Twitch. Before we get started, let me just tell you a little bit about what is this? Why are you here? You got the link, you wanted to support, but you don't know exactly what it is. Let me break it down. What is Music Forward? It's an organization that connects young people from our communities directly to the music industry. How? Via career and artist development programming designed to transform young lives, inspire careers, and champion a more inclusive industry. Listen, I host, but I'm also an artist, and I know how crazy hard it can be to get into this industry. Relationships are everything. So you got the artist over here, and you got the industry over here. Music Forward is literally bridging that gap. So it's amazing. What is Open Mic Fridays? So it is a performance showcase where young, fresh, new talent, they share their art, they share their talent, they gain exposure, they get live feedback directly from experts with successful careers in music. It's the worst when somebody tries to tell you what to do or not to do, and they haven't even done it. It's like, what? How do you know? This is not that, okay? We have industry experts with great careers who are going to pour into these artists. All right, so let's get to the lineup. First, we're going to need a little bit of help from you guys, the viewers, okay? From tonight's lineup, we're going to be inviting back two special performers for our finals showcase in April, okay? One will be the artist with the most fans in the audience. That's you. This is where you are getting involved. Make sure that you vote. There is a link in the chat right here on Twitch so that you can vote for your favorite artist to come back in April. So don't forget to visit that link and vote, vote, vote. Okay, they will have the opportunity to win some really cool gear as our fan favorites. So you definitely want them to be in that room. Also, after the show airs, our industry experts will choose their favorite of the night. So there'll be an industry pick, and there will also be a fan favorite. That artist will be invited back for the showcase in April as well. Now, before we get started with our performances, let us meet our industry guests. Industry guests, please turn on your cameras. As you're coming in, I'm going to tell you about them. Linda Septine, CEO of Septine Entertainment Group. Linda is a music artist development professional and founder of Septine Entertainment Group. With 25 plus years of music and artist development experience, she and her company have trained over 17,000 musicians, you guys. That's crazy. Named in top tabloids as Kingpin of Pop Talent, the Star Maker, the expert in all things vocal branding, Septine is one of the forefront authorities on 5 key vocal productions to launch a pop career. With clients that have included branded icons Leon Bridges, Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, Casey Musgraves, Gayle, Kids Pop, Tyler Dowell Bryant, Jenna Rain, #1 Spotify 2021 viral hit. Jessica and Ashley Simpson. And the list goes on and on. Beyonce Knowles. Come on now. It's just really ridiculous. Linda is the GOAT. Linda Septon and Septon Entertainment specialize in career development from vocal branding to social launch. Once she and her team recognize a talent with work ethic, they go to work creating an effective development strategy to launch a branded long-term career artist. So basically, Linda is who you want to know, who you need to know, baby. Welcome, Linda.
Well, thank you. I think you're the GOAT. Geez, you are amazing MC. I love it. Can we use you and hire you? You're cool.
We will talk after this.
Oh my gosh, that's
thank
great.
you. So thank you. Yeah, we're so excited to have you here. So what is it? I'm going to start off with a question for you. What is that spark? You know, everyone's looking for that it factor, right? What even is the it factor to you?
That's tougher because it's changed quite a bit. It used to be just the fact that somebody could enter a room and people would be infectious to whatever they did, and you didn't know what it was. You couldn't identify that it factor at all. Now it's more of a person that can make their own lane and silo on 3 or 4 different categories, right? From platforms of socials to being able to identify different music that becomes infectious with Gen Z, Gen X, or millennials that just virally hits. And so it's very tough. It's more predictable now. We can predict it now and attach more people to it. So obviously it becomes more popular, but the it factor has expanded.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of different.
I can see that. Well, I'm excited for you to hear this amazing talent tonight and for you to provide your wonderful feedback. We're just honored to have you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, and our next industry expert is Hashim Daoud, independent musician, marketer, and artist educator from Artist Pro. Hashim Daoud is a Los Angeles-based music professional, spreading his talent across the industry as a celebrated music marketer, lifelong musician, and artist educator for over 15 years. He spends his time between marketing strategy for his own roster of artists, DJs, producers, and music tech companies, while simultaneously working on his own musical project as an artist, composer, and live performer under the alias Rizik, which has amassed over 12 million streams with listeners in over 100 countries. I love it. Hashim is doing double duty, and that's what being in the industry is kind of about. Combining his experience both as an active artist and a seasoned music marketer, Hashim teaches the next generation of music creators through his brand, Artist Pro, which focuses on career planning, personal development, and brand building for early stage music artists. Hashim, welcome back.
What's up?
What's up?
Good to be back.
We're so excited to have you. I just love your energy. You're just always electric and infectious, and I think that's what we need.
Word, thank you.
Yeah, so my question for you is, what initially led you to a career in the industry?
How funny. I just made a video about that today. I want to say music. I mean, look, the funny thing is the video I made today was a drumming video, but I normally used to tell people that session drumming was what got me into the industry around 18, 19. But the video I shot today, a little spoiler, if you do follow my social channels, my earliest dream at 10 years old was to be the drummer of the Spice Girls. And I have no shame admitting this because I was just I do journal. Dreams. I journal, and I was like where was the seed really planted? And it was the movie Spice World that we first saw the band. I was like, hold on, they have a band, and like they are having a great time. That was the first time that there's no delusion of grandeur here. But I want to be a rock star. I was like, no, I just want to play good songs. They have good songs. I just want to play good songs. with really
Yeah.
talented people.
love
And I
it.
think that was the seed that was planted very early of like, I mean, is there anything doper than that? Just playing music,
feel
and
you.
you know what I mean? I think, and it really does go back to that. So to answer your question in the most direct, like accurate way, I would say like that's where the seed was planted, as goofy as it sounds.
I love that. I mean, it's so genuine and it's just authentic. And I think that's why you've had a long lasting and long standing career, because it came from an honest place. You just wanted to make music and have a good time.
Yeah, I just kind of do what I want. That's kind of been
Yeah.
the theme of my entire career. I just kind of do what I want.
That's, I mean, that's welcome to the good life status right
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, love it. So excited to have you. You know, I just know you're going to give so many gems to these artists. So thank you once again for being here with us. We're about to get this show started. You may now turn off your camera. I'll be calling you back shortly.
Goodbye.
All right. You guys, hello. Do you see these experts? Like, it doesn't get any better than this. We have some seasoned professionals here who are going to pour so much into this talent tonight. So let's get started. Right before that, I want to remind you, the chat is open tonight. And let me tell you, as an artist, a word of encouragement can go so far. It can be the difference between, you know what, I'm giving up because it's not working out, and I'm going to stick it out because of those words that somebody spoke to me. So keep it positive in the chat. Share your opinions, share your thoughts, show your love to these artists, because trust me, it is needed. And let's get this show started. Coming to the virtual stage, we have our first artist, Henry McIntyre. Come on in, Henry. Let me tell you guys about Henry. Henry McIntyre hails from Boston, Massachusetts, and his roots in the city have influenced his music. Oh, Henry, I think you have you can mute your. I hear like a myself. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, and his roots in the city have influenced his music. Boston is known for its thriving music scene, which has produced many notable artists over the years. McIntyre began his musical career at a young age, playing lead guitar in the rock band Black Diamonds, which played venues such as House of Blues Boston and the Hard Rock Cafe. McIntyre's solo work has also been heavily influenced by Boston, and he has played at many local venues such as the Middle East Upstairs, the Jungle, the Midway Cafe, and more. McIntyre's intimate debut EP, Highly Influenced, was released in 2018. And since then, he has released several singles that showcase his unique blend of folk, rock, and indie pop. While McIntyre has played as far as Nashville, Austin, Denver, New York, and LA, Boston remains an important part of his story and his sound. Welcome, Henry. We're so excited to have you. Tell us about what we can expect from you tonight.
So this is my song, Frank. I wrote it when I was kind of at a crossroads in my life, and guess I'm still trying to figure out if I made the right decision.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're all excited to hear this. So without further ado, Henry, take it away.
All right, this is Frank. Let's get it over with. I'm bad and now, but lost in the fog. And nobody's right, and nobody's wrong. Yes, I have found myself stuck on 2 tracks. Hanging on by pleasantries and golden smiles. No, it's not right, but I cannot lie if this is it. That whatever the time. My mother says it's normal to be questioning now. I guess it is, I just don't know how. Yes, and I was thinking that I should know myself better by now. To be frank, I'm doing well. Rubbing with the parties, but I don't feel that. And I'm not turning back again for no one. To be frank, I'm doing well. The writing's on the wall, but I'm not simple the time, but I cannot lie. This is my path now, it'll start to unwind. I'm holding on to all these things that have become me. You're questioning me, but you cannot see the way we live and breathe at the end of the night. My father says it's normal to be changing now. I guess it is, I just don't know how. I'm guessing I was thinking that I should know myself better by now. Leaving, I'm doing well. Brother making lunches, but I don't feel love. And I'm not turning back again. No one. Leaving, I'm doing well. The writing's on the wall, but I'm not ready to try. And I'm not turning back again. It's getting over with, I'm bad and now I'm lost in the fog. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Guess I have found myself stuck on two tracks.
Henry. Yes, when that chorus came in, that chorus really sent me. It really did. Because it just takes you like the changes, like the melody. It's great. Great songwriting, great song structure. Yes, I loved it, loved it, loved it. You are doing well. You look great. Sound great. I think it was awesome. Let's get our industry experts in and see what they have to say. Linda, we can start with you.
Sure. You're, I mean, amazing. Are you, what, I didn't quite get what your genre was. So I'd like for you to tell me that a little bit. So is it rock? Is it folk rock? Is it singer-songwriter from that song? What would you say it is, Henry?
I would say probably folk rock, especially on the recording. Right now, it's very singer-songwriter, obviously, because it's just me and my guitar.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would probably say folk rock.
Okay. The reason why I ask is, you know, whatever you sing, you want to be who you are. Obviously, you just get a few chances to brand yourself. And that's why, because I had taken some notes about your bio. And if you're a rock band too, it was kind of confusing as to which one it was. So you have a beautiful voice. Great falsetto. I would have done a little more falsetto because not very many people can perfect that. So you did that well. And the only thing I would suggest is, you know, when we sit, we have a very ADHD audience today, as you know. And so even older people all want to kind of jam with things, you know, and the minute you sit, we sit in our minds, you know, and so you want to stand and you want to bring us into that by standing up and just really performing, even though it's on a stupid old computer, you know, look in there and just jam out and stand like there's 50,000 people back there. And that way that brings us in. It's even more important on certainly Twitch. So those are things that I would recommend. And the other thing is you have hats all along the back. Henry, tell me about that.
Well, I used to have a lot more. And when I was like 12, I was a big baseball nerd. So that's what most of them are. The hats and stuff. Let's see, what do I have? I have one from a cigar bar in Vegas. That's probably my most exciting one. But there's not a ton of stories behind those.
I bet so. So why aren't you wearing them? Why aren't you wearing one as your brand? Because you obviously like it. That's how we promote our artists, right, Henry? So if I know they like Taylor, we always have a Taylor guitar back there so that I can get a Taylor endorsement for them. You've got an endorsement sitting there behind you. Wear the hat. talk about it. That then becomes your socials, and you have a whole thing. I'm looking at a beautiful way of branding you right now, and just being able to do that. I'm looking behind your singing, because that is as important now. So I would highly suggest wear a hat, or whatever you need to do with it. You can hang it from your guitar for all I care, but just something that causes people to go, what the heck is that? You know,
Oh, I love that.
I enjoyed that.
Linda just gave a whole lesson just now. That was great. All right, Hashem.
Word. Okay. I'm gonna just dance around the musical stuff because Linda's probably way more qualified than me when it comes to the vocal stuff there. So I will, however, piggyback on her ideas of the branding thing. Why the focus there? I mean, her eye is very clearly tuned to this. Just so you know here, people need obviously to relate to you beyond the entertainment value of the music. And in many ways, people need to kind of see themselves in you in some ways. So the idea of attaching other items like your hobbies, your interests, that's just one more layer. If you think about the development of the personality in which people attach themselves to, you start with the music. Typically, that's the first thing people know you for. You're entertaining them, you're moving them somehow. And then the natural next emotional question is, well, what else you got? How else can I relate to you? Oh, you like, XYZ baseball teams or cigar shops, whatever it might be, other areas of other layers of your personality. The more they can see themselves into you, the more therefore they feel you are representing them somehow. You are the voice for them somehow. So putting on your music or wearing your t-shirt is as much a representation of them than it is of you. So the idea of adding layers to you from a branding perspective is powerful as long as it's authentic. So again, to Linda's credit, she noticed it. It's right in the background. It's very natural. It's very authentic. It's right there for the taking. Other notes that I had here, a song like that, I feel like in chorus especially, you really had to go for it, and you did. So kudos to that. Kudos for either having that in you or have developed that well enough to have that in you to the point where you feel confident. A little subtle note, you made good eye contact with the camera. I'm sure you probably did the same thing in person. It worked on me. I felt like you were singing to me. So well done on that one. And then in terms of a musical note here, I felt that maybe, again, this is just one guy's feedback in terms of how the song moved him. Grain, if not a mountain of salt, because it's your song, not mine. I thought maybe the second pre-chorus, you could consider maybe lifting it somehow, change it up a little slightly. It just felt the same thing. By that point, I had moved on emotionally, and I felt like in a way, you had me looking back when the momentum, my momentum was going forward. I just felt you had me looking back for a split second, if that makes any sense. Musician terms, we talk in mumbles and all kinds of goofy terminology. So hopefully you know what I mean by that. And then in terms of, the band and solo thing, I also thought kind of the same thing there. In a way, again, the only context I know you as, dude, is a solo act. So I think I think you're enough. I think you're enough for a solo act, a solo artist. You have the likable personality, you have that genuine factor, and you were able to hold my attention long enough. In terms of the act, the entertainment value, like you pointed out too, like right now, I'm very singer-songwriter, just me and the guitar. Have you looked into Ableton Live at all as a way to kind of build a live show, just out of curiosity?
I haven't.
Okay.
I have Logic. I don't know if that makes any difference, but
I use both.
Okay.
I use Logic for compositional stuff, band tracking. I use Ableton Live for solo artist stuff, primarily because it's a great way to build a cohesive set that you don't have to rely on just yourself the entire time. So for instance, in your chorus section, I thought, how cool would it be if, especially the second chorus, we had this like surprise moment where all of a sudden a harmonizer kicked in and you had like 4 different versions of you subtly harmonizing, and then we as the audience go, wait, what's that coming? Did he just make a moment? That also scales up once you have light design. I mean, it's a good program to have in general, dude. It's just a good scale. It's better than Logic. It's just different. And for the live performer, I mean, Ableton Live, and it's not just for the electronic guys. You could really use it to bump up any specific genre, you name it. And the last thing I'll say for you is you clearly entertained me, you moved me, but I'm wondering, what can we do to have you transcend the entertainment value? So the question I have for you, I mean, feel free to spit back the whatever's on top of your brain right now, but something perhaps to really reflect on is, what do you think you could represent And I know the most you can answer now is in this moment. The artist's journey naturally is one of evolution. You're going to represent more and more things especially as you stick with this thing longer and longer. But what do you think? If you can just vocalize that to me right now, like if someone like loves your music, they love your tunes, they love your voice, what else beyond entertaining me? What do you think you can represent? If I wore your T-shirt, what do you think today that would represent?
Honestly, that might have to be something I reflect on. I wish I had a fast response to it, but
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, music is merely the medium of transmission, right? But like, what do you have to say? And I don't mean your songs, but especially if I'm going to follow you, invest in you, support your Patreon, go to your shows, and most importantly, tell my friends about you, you know, what else? How do I feel represented by you? Something
Yeah.
just to think about. You don't have to build your entire project around that, but it's something I think, especially as you mature, I'll use that word, mature into your artist project,
Yeah.
you're going to want to keep those things in mind.
Yeah. I love that. That was really, all of that was like really deep and involved. And I'm going to give you a little hack, Henry, that really works, where you won't have to think so much about what you represent. It will just fall in line. Is before you perform a song, especially one like that, tell the story that inspired the song. It's just an honest reflection, right? So think of whatever it was that inspired it. What was that story? I guarantee you the story is going to resonate with somebody in the audience, and they're going to like you before you even start singing, because they get you. They understand you because you told your story. And that's a way that you can also discover yourself, what you're about outside of just the music. So that's just my little 2 cents. All right.
Good stuff,
Henry?
though, dude.
thank you.
Good stuff, though.
Yeah. Excellent. So remember, audience member, it's your job now to do your part. Hit that link. Send Henry on to the fan favorite part of our show so he can come back. Thank you so much, Henry, and our industry experts. All of you may now turn off your cameras. All right, you guys, we are moving right along. Coming to the virtual stage, we have Manisha. Let me tell you about Manisha. If she isn't planning her next release or arranging parts of her next show, Manisha is probably making a manifest board, rewatching The Hobbit, or journaling her anxiety away. Manisha is a Filipino Indian artist and singer-songwriter. With an array of influences from Broadway musicals to Taylor Swift to John Bellion to Frank Sinatra, Manisha's music gravitates towards storytelling lyrics over pop songs, forms with a jazz flair. She released her first single, Cat, in 2021 and is currently working on building her first EP, while simultaneously studying songwriting and production at the Berklee College of Music in Boston. Will you go to Berklee? Go, girl. It's a hard school to get into. I have a mentee that goes there named Morgan, and she's an amazing singer. So I have heart ties with Berklee.
That's awesome.
So tell us about you, Manisha. What can we expect from you tonight?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually in one of Berklee's practice rooms, so it doesn't usually look this beautiful. I have to say.
You brought the vibes. Love it.
But yeah, no, it's so I'm in one of the Berklee practice rooms, and yeah, I'll be singing a song of mine called Minor Details. And basically it's about my partner and I, and he's in school doing a pre-med track, and I'm out here doing music. So we
Nice.
truly are opposites attract. And it's all about the little details that are both different, but at the end of the day, it's like, that's not what's important. It's like at the end of the day, those are just the details in the life that we'll try to fill.
Love it. See, a story. I already feel connected to you because you told me your story about your relationship. Love that. Well, I'm excited to hear this song. Without further ado, Manisha, take it away.
Thank you so much, Lydia. All right. Yeah, this is my song, Minor Details. All right, here we go. He's never been to a concert, and I'm a music major. The irony is funny. He shifts at radiology, I shift words and poetry. Dynamic duo, surprisingly. He might be a doctor in his 30s when I'm on tour. But that's just a minor detail in the life we're gonna film. I will suck in math, and he won't know the chords I'm playing. Minor detail. There's so much more to a strong foundation. It's everything in between. LOVE, all the minor details. He doesn't play any instrument. Correction, there was the clarinet he picked up in the 7th grade. I couldn't care less about chemistry, but now as he's explaining things, I'm learning the reactions and sensing an attraction. He might be in Cali while I'm in the Boston cold, but we're thinking big picture, the minor details. It's a life we're gonna film. One day I'll get math, and he'll know what the chords are saying. Minor detail. There's so much more to a strong foundation. It's everything in between. LOVE, all the minor details. All the minor details. Hey, he prefers caffeine. I like a sugar high. I'm a big foodie. He's not the picky kind. We start an argument about Game of Thrones, and then he holds me. He goes out gymming, trying to clear his head. I'm a big talker, a cry and vent instead. Methods are different, but we try to understand them. 'Cause I love all the minor details, yeah. One day I'll get math, and he'll know what the chords are saying. Minor details. There's so much more to a strong foundation. It's everything in between. Nuances and odd degrees. Opposites still attract. He and I are proof of that. It's loving, loving, loving. All the minor details. All the minor details. All of him, all of me. All in between. The minor, the littlest to the big things. It's all the details. Hey, all the minor details. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. If I could stand right now and throw roses at the stage, I would be doing that. That was literally phenomenal. I love the personal aspects of it, but I also love how relatable it can be to everybody, because it really is. Those are just minor, like it's the minor details. Like, it just made so much sense. And I can see your Broadway influence. That could totally be like a Broadway number tomorrow. in the story of your life, in the play of your life, that's like the hit song. Great job. you have so much talent. I'm like very inspired by you right now. Let's get our industry experts in there because I can go on and on doting on you. You guys may turn on your cameras. All right, Linda, ladies first. Your mic, Linda. Yes.
That was amazing. It just, Manisha, it's just it was very Broadway, like she was saying, and that's what I loved about it. I thought, wow, I'm trying to figure out how do I translate this into the world of where
Right.
you want to be, right? And that's the main thing. Where does that translate? I want to ask you that. How do you think that translates?
Um, I guess I'm sorry to ask your question with another question, just to clarify. But like, is what you're asking is like, how can I take my Broadway influences and put it into this like, because I want to be in like the pop sphere.
Right.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
asking? Like, how am I thinking of doing that?
Mhm.
Yes, because it's really, I don't know why, but there's a really big difference in a Broadway feel and a pop
Yeah.
feel. And
Huge
so
difference.
it is, and it's funny, because we are telling stories, but it's not as sophisticated as Broadway tells that story, just like
Right.
classical music, you know? And so I'm asking you, how do we translate that? If you want to be, like you have a voice similar to Ariana Grande, there's 26 voice types, and you have one similar to that, which is a very light coloratura type sound. So how do I translate that into the world of where we are right now?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, because yes, my songwriting is very like Broadway storyteller like influenced. And I do play on the piano, which just adds to that. But I think definitely in like I like in my bio, I'm learning production tools while I'm at Berkeley, and I think like something that I could do because like some influences of mine in this production sphere are like Remy Wolf or like these bigger artists like big like their production is very pop and colorful, and I think that like working with a producer also and helping me to try to
Mhm.
like combine the two because I definitely still think I fought my musical theater background for so long, but I definitely think that like it's definitely my sound, but as I want to be a touring artist, and I think that
Mhm.
the production and playing with that is something that I can do to kind of put me in that in between space.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the top of my head.
Let me give you a suggestion
Please.
that I want you to try. Have you ever heard of, I'm trying to think of more recent ones, but Maisie Peters or,
Yeah, love
yeah,
her.
and let's say Tones and I, just Dance Monkey, any of those girls that are out there still today. And Maisie certainly is doing a great job with her stuff. I think her last song, Good Enough, is just killer.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Think about how that's not their voice when they sing. They're putting an effect, just like Hisham was talking about, Ableton Live. You can put, plugins on your voice, let's say, because as a engineer myself, I can put any kind of feel I want on that artist, but I can't quite always do it when they're on stage. There are manipulative ways to do that, but I would rather you learn to do that. So if you could, instead of, because your head voice is a little bit too Broadway, right? I'm doing, and it's just,
Yeah.
that's too into that realm. So how about if you breath that up? Just anything that people go, "Ooh, that was cool,"
Mhm.
and or something that you could actually in your whole voice just pronounce that first sentence. I won't take long, but just the first phrase of your song, and I'll show.
Um, do you want me to sing it?
Yeah, just
Mhm.
sing it a cappella. Yeah.
Um, he's never been to a concert, and I'm a music major. The irony is
So right
funny.
there. He's never been to a concert. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is just put a lot of, even it can be nasal. He's never been to a anything you want to do, just any kind of he's never been, anything you can do that people turn around and go, where'd that come from? That's different, because we have so much noise, as you've heard the word over and over, that we don't want to hear the same tone when somebody starts singing, like Sham was talking about. After a while we tune out, right?
Yeah.
But when it's different, like Tones and I did with Dance Monkey, which was, by the way, the #1 hit in the world for 6 months. So everybody read the ASCAP deal on it, because it's amazing. Why? She doesn't sing like that. If you look at her old YouTube video, she was nothing like that on the street, because she did street singing mainly in busking. And when she was a little bit more normal sounding, I guess I could say, classical even almost. But then she went, hey, oh my God, and she went straight to the sound, and it's the coolest sound in the world, and we all go, wait a minute, how is she doing that? There's plenty of sounds. I could give you tons of ornaments that you can use, because the human voice has over 1 million sounds, right? So you can use all these, but you're going to need that to get out of Broadway. You're going to need that to where they go, crap, that's weird, and that's what you want. You want the weird. And when you play, you just gotta, I think a good piano coach can help you play a little bit less Broadway. I love the fact that you play. That differentiates you. I love it. I love it, Manisha. So don't give that up. But you are playing it definitely Broadway style, right? So with your talent, take a few lessons with a great pop piano player, especially. I mean, you've seen Panic in the Disco, you've seen all the great ones, and they play, of course, standing up. By the way, the piano was driving me nuts because it was out of tune, but that's not your fault. Was shot. But anyway, just standing up, and even your vibe with your body can keep it from being too Broadway, right? Push into the piano, push in, rather than playing like this, which is more classical placement, right? Because I'm a pianist too, so you have to push in and look like you're a rock star. All those little things will change you, and you will just become a pop star. Broadway will be swept away, and it'll be the same song. So there's
the good thing is the talent is there. You can always manipulate it to be how you want it to be. Okay, Hisham, and we're gonna have to kind of shorten our responses a little bit, just because we have 2 more artists.
I'll be quick. But this could not have been better teed up for me. And I had my own notes going down, but then I quickly stopped. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know what she wants though. So I'm glad we had this discussion of because initially I was like, theater. First thing is do you have theater ambitions? So I'll give you what I was going to say before I heard you had to say, only so you could hear 2 different kinds of perspectives. And of course, you come to your own conclusion. My whole thing was maybe don't rush into the pop thing. And I'm not trying to contradict Linda or anything. This is kind of what popped in my head. It's saturated enough. Everyone's trying to do pop. There's so many people trying to do pop music. But I'm thinking, is there something that you could do that you double down and own that Broadway thing, of course, in your own way? Not that you say, hey, I'm Broadway, take a look at me, but more that you apply it. For instance, maybe movie and theater could be applied to a theme of your overall brand. An example of that would be Life's a Movie. We're all just kind of living it. So for when people come to your shows, it looks like we're on a movie set, for instance, and you kind of really lean into the idea that don't take life so seriously. We're all just actors in our own little thing. But also on that note, the song, and that's all that I know about you right now in terms of your creative stuff, is just the song. The song is about understanding. So here's a freebie in terms of an idea you could do. And we just missed the boat because Valentine's Day just happened. But as you do develop your own audience base that really digs your idea of compassion and empathy and how you apply that to music, imagine if you had a Patreon and one of the tiers, call it $500, is that you write songs for people's relationships. So you can interview each of them, understand what makes the other person tick, all the little nuances there, and then you write a song for them. So you wrote how this song was about you and your dude, obviously, but write a song for other people in a way that allows them to go, huh, what a great gift, honey. That'd be $500, please.
Songfinch. Songfinch is a website that does that. You could do them on your own. I literally just talked to my husband about this today. So this is like syncing alignment or something like that. because it
Yeah,
just happened.
And I hate to give you express marketing advice because we are strapped for time. But hopefully that just kind of gives you some gears as to like if you wanted to lean into it instead of running away from it, how could
Yeah.
you gracefully lean into it? But as Linda very astutely put it out, but of course hint that like this isn't all that I am. Like you, whether it's through the vocal, the pushing in, but also the thematic elements of your brand, you show that like I'm not like a typical Broadway person. And only once you've really owned that, perhaps then you broaden out, because now you're coming
Yeah.
to the pop game with this firmly established identity and thing, and frankly, supporters, people.
Yes.
You'll have
Yes.
momentum.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you so
Love,
much.
love. I know that was a lot. I hope you're like soaking it all in. You gotta rewatch this video later and like take notes.
Exactly.
All right, audience, head to the link. Vote for Manisha. She's insanely incredible. Manisha, thank you so much. Thank you, industry experts. You all may now get off my screen.
I'm outta here, I'm outta here.
We're calling in the next artist. All right, you guys, coming to the virtual stage, we have Frankie White. Frankie White, come on in. Frankie White's sound has been strongly influenced by pop singers, songwriters such as Ingrid Michaelson, Birdie, Sarah Bareilles, Sylvan Esso, Tori Amos, and Oh Wonder. As a child, Frankie took up classical piano lessons for 10 years and has angered many teachers due to only learning traditional pieces by ear, a little rebel. She currently resides and gigs in New Orleans with her band. Welcome, Frankie. Excited to have you. Tell us what we can expect tonight.
Yeah, so this song that I'm playing is called If We Stayed Together. It's actually out on all streaming platforms right now. I produced it by myself the best that I could. I'm re-recording it in a studio next month, so it'll be out again in May.
Great.
Yeah, so it's actually about I was in a relationship for like 2 months, didn't work out, as that'll happen. And then my friend was talking to me about it afterwards, and she said, you know, just be thankful that you figured it out now and not later. Like, oh my God, can you imagine if I had stayed in a relationship with this person for a year? So the song's kind of thinking about what if that
love
thing
it.
happened.
Love that.
Yeah, so I
Way
like
to turn.
Thank you. I just like to write songs that make people think and have kind of like an intellectual kind of, just like a passageway there.
All right, awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear it. Without further ado, take it away.
Now that you're not around, I thought I'd miss what we had. But if I think too much about it, now I know it was all just that. I was happy when you held my hand in your car Cincinnati. Try sit up and going to the bar, but there were times I felt that I was still alone. 'Cause there'd be days you didn't call and you wouldn't come home. You didn't call and you wouldn't come home. No more kisses on my hands when we're tangled up in bed. I steal the covers from a ghost, and he doesn't take them back. I keep thinking of all this wasted time. Now I'm drinking, and it's only 1 year down the line. Baby, there were times I went out all by myself and looked for a man to give me what you never had. doesn't care. Though I was the one who left, you just let me disappear. I was the one who left, and you let me disappear.
Okay, Frankie. You didn't have to clown like that. Not you stopped and recorded piano and then played on, and your vocals are otherworldly.
Thank you.
It's giving Lana Del Rey, but better.
Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Industry experts, come on in. That was so good. So good. All right, Linda, start with you first, and let's try to keep it as brief as possible. I hate to rush through this because Frankie is a problem.
Yes, we'll be quick, but that was beautiful. Beautiful voice, beautiful way. I mean, I love the looping and what you're doing, and you're very talented. Had a little bit trouble trying to find the hook. If I were to sing it again, I don't think I could, so we want to kind of
Mhm.
freshen that up. That's all.
Mhm.
Just freshen your hook up to make sure that in today's world, you got to repeat to us because us, we just,
Right.
listen very well anymore. And so there's too much noise, like I said. So you want to kind of freshen that hook. And I prefer, like I said, standing and entertaining. I make every artist, no matter what we're doing, that we look like we're entertaining for thousands. I would suggest that. But your voice is just amazing and beautiful.
Man.
I do
beautiful.
see it on stage. I do. I see it. And I see you. Of course, if you had a band, it would have been easier, obviously, because you would have had multiple areas to move to. And I get that. So I get that very much. I didn't see your brand in your costuming. I think you want to figure that out, whether it's a scarf, hat, whatever, just work on that branding. That is so important today. We are better off having black and white hair. And it's standing out here for someone to say,
Right.
oh, that girl with the weird hair. I mean, we got to have something distinguish us now. We
I
don't want to
agree.
look like just the pedestrian, right? The person that's the fan. You want to look like a star. So, work on that too. I loved it, thought it was beautiful.
Thank you.
Excellent. Hasham?
Yeah, this kind of works out that it has to be brief because I'll be very brief. Dude, I kind of don't even want to say much because all I see here is super raw talent. And this is one of those cases where I'm just going to back off this and really let you evolve into yourself because while to Linda's point, I couldn't really sing back a lyric per se, but the final like
Yeah.
in my head, dude, I mean, like what I saw was that even if you did have a band, I saw you in a big room, a theater, maybe a stadium, but this song stayed intimate. Maybe one keyboard player who's not even lit, and everyone's singing that. All the cell phones are in the air. All the phones are in the
Candles
air,
around-
dude.
You got candles around you. Like, yes, it's a moment.
And while I definitely normally would feverishly agree with the idea of like, you got to get something to make you kind of stand out, I have a feeling that the more you just kind of stay you, the more people like you will find you and like you a lot. Because while we have plenty of theatrics, plenty of people that are dressing crazy and doing all these things, there still is some room for the person that goes, I just want to see me. Where's me? I want to find me. And I feel like a lot of young girls especially are going to look at you and be like, there I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And with that voice, girl, smack him in the face with that voice. Just sing on them. Just keep singing on them. Because
Thank
girls
you.
can't do what you're for real. That's your golden ticket. Because not everyone can do what you do. So when in doubt, sing on them.
What's
Okay.
that song called again, by the way? Which one is that one?
You together.
If we stay, okay, it is here on Spotify, but you said it's re-releasing.
Yeah, it's re-releasing in May. This one was all me in my bedroom, so it's not. Yeah, it's gonna be better.
Oh,
Okay,
I'll
awesome.
still hear that one. And instant follow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Period. All right, you guys, audience, this is hard. I would hate to have Linda and Hashim's job because the talent is out of the park today. All of you may now turn up your cameras. If you're in the audience, make sure that you vote for Frankie if you want her to be the fan favorite. And last, but certainly not least, we have Jenna May coming to the mic. Come on in, Jenna. Let me tell them about you. Jenna May is a young up-and-coming Boston-based pop singer-songwriter known for her poetic lyrics and alluring intimate voice. Her devotion to songwriting and love of nature fuels her passion for music publishing and environmentalism within the music industry, excuse me. With a touch of magic, Jenna threads a bit of her soul into everything she creates, writing each song as a new page in her personal sonic journal. Introspective, sincere, and gripping, Jenna May is a bright star to keep on your radar. I love your bio, Jenna. Hi. You are bringing it in on the tail end, and I know you're going to knock it out of the park. Tell us what we can expect from you this evening. Oh no, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I am playing my song called Thought Crime, which is also out on streaming, so you can go and listen to it if you want. It is a song about getting caught up and lost in the fantasy of kind of anything, but more specifically falling in love with the fantasy of a person, which doesn't really work out because it's not the real thing, and it's kind of, it just doesn't work out in the end. And that's something that I tend to do a lot. So that's what this song is about.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to hear it. Without further ado, Jenna May, take it away.
Just a flicker, barely there, like the dry shampoo still in my hair. You smell like cinnamon, I shouldn't let you Thank you.
Jenna, gorgeous. You have the most smooth, soothing tone. And I just feel like your voice is also like super marketable. Like I can hear it on so many different records because of it just has like a plainly appealing sound. It's just like an appealing frequency to the ear. I love that. Let's get our industry experts in here and hear their feedback for you. You guys may both turn on your cameras. As usual, Linda, you will go first.
Well, super. That Jenna, that I agree. You have a great effect on your voice. It's got a little bit of a breathy, almost to the point of rasp in it, and I love that sound. Your favorite line, my favorite line is, "Don't do the sin if you can't do the crying."
Man, too. I wrote that down too.
Nice. I love it.
How funny.
It hit us. It hit both of us. So that to me, I went, "Oh my gosh, she just got that line. Must have lived through it, you know."
Totally.
Yeah, we've all been there, Jenna. So know that. But I also tried to look you up. Just wanted to tell you, in Instagram, I couldn't find you. Are you under Jenna May or?
Social media is May Rose and Magic.
Okay, gotcha. May
Yes.
Rose, gotcha. Well, I'll look that up for sure. But I thoroughly enjoyed you, and I thought I would have changed the piano up a little bit more because after a while we need a little ear candy, and I think of it this way, and I think Hasham would probably agree. After about 5 or 6 songs, our ear will start tuning, and going trying to find some different noises. So I would make that just a little bit more interesting. But loved your lyrics. Just loved them. Thank you.
Yes, excellent, Hasham.
Just filing my notes here. Yeah, okay. The voice thing. Yeah, it's funny. In the beginning, I was like, damn, that's a very dry signal. Like, is she leaning into this? Where's she going with this? Like, can I get a reverb or something? But then I kind of realized, wait a minute. Again, everyone has a voice that is processed to hell. Could there be some, and again, it's just you on a piano right now, but like, could that be something you perhaps lean into, the very intimate, at least for maybe a project, a concept, an EP, where it's very like confessional, like it's almost like you talking into your own tape recorder, like you're journaling, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it feels very intimate. So if you're gonna have that vocal, lean into that as a means of saying something. So that's the first thing there. On the other flip end though, like I could totally, for some reason, the name that popped in my head for as a brief comparison, and I try not to compare, that could be cool because the song is so straightforward. Was it Natalie Imbruglia? Do you remember her from the 90s?
So good. Look her up. So good.
Yeah, dude. Like I feel like, again, I'm a drummer too, so like when I heard you play, I was just like, like if you did like a live version of that, like we could really liven it up. I'll still keeping you kind of in your lane and mellow. But on the note of that, I felt, because it's how funny, Lynn and I both like had the same line where like ding ding ding, that's the line. I feel like in some ways, dude, since this song is very conceptual and it's a very easy one to grasp, probably because it's so relatable, I think you can simplify the hell out of this. I feel like your verses could have been, especially the second verse, could have been half the length. And rather than kind of being more descriptive, give us more of those one-liners. It's the classic thing, especially in film, right? Like just don't tell, show, just show us. So in many ways, like let us feel, don't tell us, let us feel. Like that one-liner alone is like, that was as powerful as 3 verses in some ways. Like, can you have more of those thrown in there and just simplify the hell out of it? Mm-hmm. That's all I want to say on that one, because the rest of it, again, I'd rather have you just kind of discover inward and figure that out. But yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I love it. Your voice gives me like ASMR. Like it's like the vocal ASMR. Like it's just the way it sounds to the ear is just like, definitely lean into that. It's gonna set you apart. All right, you guys, if you're in the audience, you're very welcome. Time is spent, y'all. If you're out there, head to the link and vote for Jenna May. Before you two leave, Jenna May, you may now turn off your camera. My industry experts, I need you to stick around really quickly because you guys are going to just give us 2 quick tidbits. The final question, you know how it is. Whatever it is that you want to say to any up and coming artists? One solid word of advice, one thought, one tidbit. What would that be? And Hashem, you can go first this time.
Oh man. Okay. Well, we talked about it briefly before we went on air, but the classic question is, of course, people always say, how do I grow my audience? How to grow my fan base? And waiting for that magical thing to kind of happen. The thing I always tell very early stage artists is all those things that you're asking about are typically externalities, the results of something else happening. Typically that something else is you connecting with people through the process of self-discovery. But that is something that you need to spend time on, particularly not compromise time. And what I say to people, if you're really quote unquote serious about this stuff, try to do everything you can to protect your time so that as many waking hours of your day can be spent working on your craft. And by working, I don't mean necessarily sitting down at your computer doing the thing, but just having creative space, holding that creative space. And, you know, the first thing I always tell people is like, well, from a financial standpoint, I understand if you have to work and whatnot, but like, how do you live below your means? How do you find a way that can really, so you're not stressing for jobs? Do you really need to lease the Audi right now? Like, how can you always protect your time and not stress yourself out by having to do the things that pay your bills, obviously. But the first step I really say is try to get to a point where you're living a creative lifestyle, an independent creative lifestyle, where you can spend the majority of your time around like-minded people. And of course, harnessing and developing your craft and building income through it, obviously. But, you know, a lot of what's going to make you is spent in that uncompromised time where you're really allowed to live with the artist that's inside. And I feel like if you live beyond your means and you don't really do that, you're constantly the weekend warrior. And I just don't know how much depth can be had as a weekend warrior. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, you'll be constantly trading that time for money, which is like ultimately not what you want to be doing all the time.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. Excellent advice. Thank you so much, Hashem. Linda?
I think that was excellent advice too. You got to get it all up because it's so, you know, with 45,000 songs a day going live on Spotify new, again, you've got to differentiate. But my strongest advice is, unfortunately today, it is also about marketing, and you are your own marketing person. There are many apps that will help you with that are very inexpensive. And even though I'm a music person, we have to do both. And we do equally as many app marketing things as we do branding a voice. And so you've got to do both. If you don't market, you will not make it. And I never make solid statements, but you won't make it. I was with the marketing PR company today for an hour, and she was telling me all the things, blah, 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 and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just wish I could hire all of these PR people for that. Yes, you can go viral. The odds of that are very slim. If you see the number that we use for the people that we just signed, a guy that just came off The Voice named Bodie, and it literally he's introduced his family and all the things he can in marketing, and it is working. Are his songs good? You bet they are. But is that what's, like Hisham is saying it to you, is that what's attracting people to invite into the lives? No, it's not just the songs now. It's you and your personality, which never used to be before. It used to just be the music. But it's changed. That's my
social media has changed that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you both so much. It's always like just gems on gems on gems when you guys are here. So excited that you're part of this family.
Thank you for
asking. You may both enjoy the rest of your Friday evening.
Yeah, thank you. Can I give a quick cheap plug?
Please plug it up.
Since you guys are on Twitch right now, my Artist Pro show is returning Mondays at 11 a.m. So if you want to hang out with me more and talk about pretty much the same stuff, same format, we listen to music, but we also examine your online properties. You also send us links to your social media presence, and you fill out a brief questionnaire just so we know what you're talking about for real-time feedback, and you never know who pops up on the stream in terms of industry guests too. It's very informal, but if you want to check it out, just go. If you're on Twitch now, just look up Artist Pro Show and head to theartistpro.com to submit your materials and check it out. 11 o'clock every Monday.
Perfect. Love it.
I'm going to get on, guys. I'm going to find you, and I'll send all my artists.
Yeah.
11 o'clock at night?
I'm definitely going to get on.
Oh, no, 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
Oh, Pacific time. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, you guys may both now turn off your camera.
Thank you guys. See ya.
Yes. Once again, I am Lydia Caesar. You can find me on socials at Miss Caesar on Instagram, everything Lydia on TikTok and YouTube. We out in these streets popping off. Be my friend. Let's go. Have a good night. I'm out.